Good evening. Tonight we start with new details that have just become available on the case that's been uppermost in all our minds this week, the murder of 2-year-old James Bulger on Merseyside. The crime is so shocking not only because James was so young, but because every parent can identify with his mother, who lost sight of him for just a few moments.
In the past few hours, there have been several advances in the investigation. A psychologist has helped draw up a profile of whoever did it, and we've new pictures of the two boys seen walking off with James from the Strand shopping centre. Other clues are becoming clear tonight as well.
We'll start with that security video picture. The Ministry of Defence has employed the same enhancement techniques that were used during the Gulf War to identify targets. Now, these stills may look a little bit fuzzy still, but they're a huge improvement on the originals. This boy is now fairly recognisable. And just this afternoon, the woman whose child was approached by two boys in that same shopping centre that Friday has picked out these boys from the security videos. Police now firmly believe these are the same two boys who abducted James. It's been widely assumed these two are responsible for the little boy's death, but of course we must keep in mind the possibility that they were trying to help him. In fact, a witness has said that two boys with a toddler asked for directions to a police station. If one of those was you, you don't need me to tell you how important it is that you make contact with the police. You can call us now on 081 811 8181. This lad is between 11 and 12 years old. He's 4 foot 9 inches, slightly chubby, although not overweight. He has a roundish face with a small nose and short hair. Note he has a high hairline. He's wearing a black shiny blouse-on style jacket, which probably has a satin finish. It has elasticated cuffs, possibly with a motif on the left side. The other boy is slightly older, taller and slimmer. He's about 13, with a longer face and pale complexion. He has short, straight black hair. Witnesses remember his noticeable brown eyes and dark eyebrows. Both boys had Liverpool accents. If you recognise them, please call us. We can now trace with greater certainty the route along which James was taken after leaving the New Strand shopping centre. That was just after 20 to 4 last Friday afternoon. He probably went down Park Street, just opposite the centre. Just after 4 o'clock, we cross Hawthorne Road into Oxford Road. These pictures from the security camera at Amec Builders Merchants show 3 girls a short distance behind the boys. Those girls have now been identified. They lost sight of the boys at the top of Oxford Avenue. Then the sightings at the reservoir on Breeze Hill. At about 20 past 4, 3 witnesses saw a toddler. Police are now almost certain it was James, in the company of 2 boys aged between 12 and 14. James was distressed, and there seemed to be a slight injury to his forehead. One of the witnesses demanded to know what was going on, and one of the 2 boys said they'd found the child on the embankment. Did you see the 2 boys and the toddler here on Breeze Hill?
To help you, we can now show you exactly what James was wearing when he disappeared. His outfit was damaged, part of it was missing, and his mother understandably was too distressed at first to give much detail. But we know that his anorak is multicoloured, in fact, identical to this. It had a fairly distinctive lining, and there's a motif here on the front which says, "Don't cross my way." His tracksuit was silvery blue with, as you can see, white stripes down the side, and he was wearing trainers, white trainers with this black inlay here. And here's a picture of a toddler who was dressed as James was when he disappeared.
The next sighting of James is about 3 miles away on Walton Village Road, near St Mary's Church. This is where 2 lads asked a passer-by for directions to the police station. That was about 10 to 5, just over an hour after James went missing. James's body was found on the railway track, which is just a little further along Cherry Lane.
A forensic psychologist tonight helps complete the pattern. He's been through the evidence so far and still has work to do to firm things up, but he's convinced that by the time we finish this appeal, somebody watching Crimewatch will have a pretty good idea of who did this to James. As when children occasionally torture animals, this could, he thinks, have been a prank, a ghastly prank that went disastrously too far. Now, if you know a boy who fits the descriptions we've given so far, see if anything that follows also fits. Since Friday afternoon, his behaviour will have changed. He might be agitated or unusually quiet. He may have wanted to stay at home for much of Saturday, which won't be his normal behaviour. He won't appear to be ill or show that he's unhappy. If anything, he'll try to show no emotions at all. He's likely to be withdrawn. But the changes will be marked enough to be noticeable, and not just to his family, but also, if they think about it, to his friends as well. He may be regularly involved in petty crime like shoplifting. He may bunk off school quite a bit and pass away some of his time in amusement arcades, certainly in the shopping centre. Most importantly, despite some reports to the contrary, the psychologist is almost certain that he lives within walking distance of where James was found.
Well, Superintendent Kirby, the boys we've been appealing to, any boys who know something, may be deterred from ringing, especially after seeing the scenes of public anger after Tuesday night's arrests. They might be very frightened. What can you do to persuade them to ring?
All I can do is to assure them that if they ring us directly at the incident room, or if they contact through a friend or even a solicitor, a member of their family, I can give them every assurance that we will do everything in our capabilities to ensure there's no repetitions of what took place earlier in the week, and we will look after their identity and make sure nobody's aware of it.
And you also need the public's cooperation in that regard too from now on.
We do, and certainly that's not been lacking right throughout the inquiry.
We've heard what the psychologist had to say. What sort of boys do you think you're looking for?
I think what Nick has said covers everything very well. The only thing I would reiterate there is the fact that perhaps their parents are not aware of some of those features, i.e. missing school, stealing, and then going into amusement arcades. But if parents do now identify these features, as distressing as it may be, I would appeal to them to come to us, because there's no doubt that that child needs a lot of care and attention.
With the willingness of the public to help, and now with these new pictures, it's hard to believe that you won't find them. Do you think it is only a matter of time now?
I've got every confidence with the way that the whole inquiry has been going, and the massive amount of help and assistance we've had from all sectors of the public within Merseyside, that will achieve that in the end.
And obviously it's better for them to come to you rather than the other way round.
It is, as we've said right throughout the inquiry. There is every possibility that the boys who abducted the baby from the shopping precinct may not be those at the end who've actually committed the murder. And in fairness to them, we must keep a very open mind on it.
It's been reported that you're widening out the inquiry now, although the psychologist believes they are local lads.
Yes, we are widening it out in so much as we're taking it into an area about 3 miles away. But we believe that the identity of the offender will be within that fairly close area. If it's not where they live, it will be friends or relatives.
Now, with so much public concern, the danger is here that you're going to get more calls than you can handle. So who exactly do you want to hear from? What are your priorities?
It is a problem. We are getting so many calls. All I would appeal, and I repeat what I've already put out before, is if anyone's seen baby James anywhere with these 2 boys, please come forward. If anyone's got any other information whatsoever that they may think could be of assistance, not is, but may be of assistance, again, please come to us. But I think even more importantly, I repeat what I've said before, if there's any parents at all who've got any alarm and concern, they must, and I stress that, must make some effort to contact us.
Mr. Kirby, thank you. This is the number, 081 811 8181 here, or you can call Merseyside Police direct on 2 special lines, and that's 051 777 6488, 051 777 6488, or 051 777 2655. That's 051 777 2655.
We now move on to another rather grim case that's made national headlines. Another case, I'm afraid, that seems to be a killing for the sake of it. The victim was 16-year-old Claire Tiltman, and she was picked apparently at random. Almost everyone you see in what follows, fire and ambulance crews, witnesses and friends, are the real people involved who've helped us to reenact events.
Good one! In the second floor! Alphabet!
She was in the fire brigade, the Duke of Edinburgh scheme, and...
She made it quite clear she didn't want a 9 to 5 job. She wanted to go in the fire brigade.
Yeah. That was her intention, to go in the fire.